Welcome to Ellamas Day 18. More than half of Ellamas is done, but there is still a lot coming. And today, I take you by the hand and together we will make a trip down the memory lane. Actually, my beautiful friend Phyllis, she suggested that I might do a video about makeup that I used to love, that made me into this, what I am today. I mean, not that I'm a neutral girl, but you know what I mean. But then I thought it is quite hard actually to track that down. And I do have a cat hair somewhere at my nose, but it was quite hard to track that down because a lot of the brands that I used to use in my teens, for example, they do not exist anymore, and that cat hair is driving me nuts. But then I thought, let's do just an updated video of makeup that got discontinued, but I still miss. I actually did a video like that in the beginning of the year, but I don't think that a lot of the products will double there. So far, I just took a look here at the thumbnail. Two products that I'm going to mention, I also did in that other video. Were there more? Did I write some down? No, of course I didn't. Okay, screw it. But I actually try to just look out for some other products actually. So let's dive into that. This video has, by the way, kind of two parts. So in the first part, I want to talk about products that I thought of. And then I also, of course, pulled up a question sticker on Instagram to just ask you, what are products that you are still missing? And we have some really interesting answers here of products that I never heard before. So let's start with the first product that came to my mind. And I think I mentioned that in the other video too. These here. These are the Bare Minerals 5-in-1 cream eyeshadows. These were perfect. And I just remember that I mean, this is just something that even back then when I used it, and I think it was around 2014, 2015, maybe 16, something like that. I never would have bought them myself, but I got one of these in a beauty box, and I'm pretty sure it was a Look Fantastic beauty box. These were just perfect. These were the perfect eye primers for me. I had multiple of these in different colors, used them as different bases to build looks on them, and I just love them, and I just so wish that they would come back, but it's impossible, and I don't think that Bare Minerals will do us that favor and give them back to us. The OG Bite Beauty Agave Lip Mask. I remember Bite was not to get here in Germany, but back then we were able to order from Sephora US, and it was so expensive. I even had to drive to the customs office that was like 60 or 70 kilometers away from my hometown, and I just had to pick my package up there and pay the customs duties and tax and all that shit. But it was so worth it to finally have one little tube of this, and I only had one because it was just too expensive to repurchase, and then they just fucked up. The OG one was so freaking good, same as these lipsticks. The Bite Beauty lipsticks were just it, and I remember that it must have been 2014, because 2014 was the year that I actually moved away from my hometown and moved to my old flat, the first own that I had. And in the beginning of 2015, I used a specific lip combo that was MAC Stone lip liner and one of the Bite Beauty lipsticks. And for the sake of my life, I do not remember that lipstick from Bite. I don't know what it was, but it was a super light one, kind of like these grayish lipsticks that is coming back to trend today. But it was from Bite, and I can't remember the shade name. I looked it up and down, but I can't find it. But that and MAC Stone lip liner was my fucking go-to. This, y'all, the OG chocolate bar from Too Faced was one of the first more high-endish palettes, and I loved it. I loved that palette so much. I used up, I don't know how the names are anymore, and here this picture are non-printed on, but I used up that third shade in the first row, then the third shade in the second row. The pink next to it was also nearly gone. Oh, here that dark brown in the upper right corner I also nearly used up, and also that big shade in the lower right corner, I think that was the shimmery one, that was also nearly gone, and some of the golds too. I just completely ripped apart this palette. The quality compared to what we have today was complete shit, and even the quality in the metal tins from Too Faced, even compared to these days metal tin quality, was not good at all. But there was just this safe space area surrounding the chocolate bar palette that just made it so easy to use. And whenever I had even something important to do back then, or something where I just needed a bit of a confidence boost, I always went in with this palette. And I actually decluttered this not too long ago, I think in 2018. Wait, that was 6 years ago. I think in any case and any time that I will ever do this video, I will not stop shutting up about the Omrizi highlight. The ABHX Omrizi highlight, I just know that this would be too dark for me, too golden, but maybe it wouldn't. I never had the chance to try this. I never got this. And honestly, that's the one that got away from me. That's the one that I always regret not getting, because look at this, how pretty it is. I know that they brought out something similar, but it was green, so it was not the same. The Body Shop Raspberry line. Oh my God. I think I went through at least 2 of these body scrubs here, that jelly in the lower right corner. I used up probably over 15 of these shower gels. The creams and the perfume were not so much my thing, but the shower gel and the body scrub were it. Sadly, Body Shop does not carry this line anymore. It was perfect. I think 2 years ago they had it still in their like little outlet area on the website, and I stocked 5 or 6 or 7 of these shower gels, but of course they're already empty. But this raspberry scent that was in there was special. Nothing will ever smell again like this, because it was not this artificial fruit scent. They managed to capture the scent of a basket of fresh strawberries in these products, and I loved them. Please, the Body Shop, bring it back. I know you're kind of an MLM now, but I actually wouldn't care. Please bring this back. This one here is a bit of a cheat, because I think the Guerlain Terracotta bronzer in this like pattern still exists, but I just want to say this is makeup I miss, kind of, for the nostalgia. I would not buy this because it's not what I like these days, but I miss it because this was the first bronzing product that I ever used. That was my first bronzer before I was even into this all, before I was even really knowing what I'm doing. I just remember that when I started to watch beauty YouTube, these girls would use bronzer, and I'm like, what the fuck is a bronzer? So I hit up on Google bronzer, and that was the first that came up, and I used that so much. I nearly used it up. It was the only bronzer that I used for years, and it was just way too warm, way too dark, and way too yellow for me. The Hourglass Ghost palettes, specifically the 4-pan, I will forever not hate myself for not hitting up with these, because I feel like nothing will ever be like these. And although I love the Hourglass face palettes, they're very pretty, they're very beautiful, the ones that are out here, but the Ghost palette is also the one that got away. And do you know what's even worse? I had it. I had that Ghost 4-pan palette, but back then, when this was a thing in I think it was 18 or 19, I had to send it back actually, because I was not able to really afford that. So I sent it back unopened. Was it the right decision back then in terms of being an adult and doing money choices? Absolutely yes, it was the right decision. But emotionally, maybe sometimes I cry over this. Now let's move on to yours. And the first one that I have here, DK Naked 2. I know, but I still think about it. Here's a picture of the OG Naked versus Naked 2, and I absolutely understand what you mean by that. The Naked 2 has this soft, cool tone going on, and honestly, I think the success of bringing back the Naked was just a test for Urban Decay, and it just told them, yes, we can bring that back. So I actually hope they bring back Naked 2, and I would totally buy that. I never owned the OG Naked 2 palette, and also not the OG Naked. I just, this year, tested Naked for the very first time. I had the Naked Basics 1 and 2, and especially the Naked Basics 2 I used so much because of the good tones in there, and my first big Naked palette was actually the Naked 3. Then we have two people mentioning the Stone lipstick is the one discontinued product that I regret, and MAC Stone lipstick. I love this color and wish I had it back. It was hard to find that actually, because when you search for MAC Stone, what are you going to find? Yes, the lip liner. And if you look for MAC Stone lipstick, what are you going to find? Still the fucking lip liner. But Temptalia got our back. Here is a picture of the MAC Stone lipstick, and here it is applied on the lips. And okay. Until this, I didn't know about this. I was not aware of its existence. I was not aware of its limitedness. But now I regret not having this. This color, oh boy, I want to have this. So MAC is kind of in a revamping mood, and they do everything new, and they also brought back like fan favorites. So they do have this thing, I think on TikTok it was a video, where they were like showing the MAC archives, and they say like, yeah, if this video gets this and that, we are allowed to bring back some older items. So honestly, I hope that they bring this back too, because I feel like these old MAC items that people used to love back then, they would still be a banger these days, and that would bring back so much attention to MAC that they definitely deserve. Agnes B Modable Shadows, here they are. It was actually really hard to find a good picture of them, because even this is from a blog, I think, and all that I was able to find were either blog entries or eBay photos, so some of them were crossed out, but basically these are mono eyeshadows, like single eyeshadows, and they had like this domed lid. I never used the brand, so I don't know what kind of specialties these had. Let us please know down below, because I'm really curious. They just look so much like ColourPop Super Shocks. There was a lip brand, and they did lip tars, OCC Cosmetics. I mean, come on, obsessive compulsive cosmetics? Yes, girl. Not that this is something that I would these days add to my collection, but I remember these. I remember that people used them, and there was some specialness about them. Is there something still on the market today? I know I just saw something similar from Asian Beauty. They do something like that too, but is OCC still in business? I don't think they are. Not makeup, but the vitamin E spray by The Body Shop. Use it to set makeup. Here it is. They do have something similar now, a vitamin E like gel spray, but I don't think this is the same. I remember this vitamin E face mist, never used it, but just Body Shop. The OG Body Shop products, they had its moment in the 2010s, and everybody was using Body Shop. The Body Shop tea tree oil was the thing, honestly, for pimples and breakouts. Do they still have this? Because this is actually a good one. But yeah, Body Shop had just a certain thing. The NYX Born to Glow foundation, and I am a bit confused, because is this the Born to Glow that you mean? That is the only one that I was able to find, and that's not discontinued. That is still, at least here in Germany, on the market and available to purchase on like any drugstore website and any makeup website that sells drugstores. So maybe it's just a country thing. or you can just hit up on Google and be happy again. Dose of Colors Aesthetic Lipstick. Oh, I back then wanted to have Dose of Colors so bad, but it was impossible to get here in Germany. So here we have a picture of the liquid lipstick, and here again Temptalia has our back. Here it is applied, and yes, I agree. It is such a nice warm terracotta lipstick, but honestly, this is a color you can definitely get from other brands these days. I'm pretty sure I have something similar, but Dose of Colors, wasn't that the brand that, oh, how are they called? Desi and Katie. They had a palette with them. No, not, was it Friendship Palette? I don't know, but that palette that broke the internet, and I wanted to have it so bad back then, but it was not available. I also miss these old YouTube days sometimes, you know, like Desi makeup, or even Katie, and the times when they were at Ipsy, and it was just such a fun time back then. And what are they doing right now? I know that Desi had like sunglasses and really overpriced skincare or something. But what's Katie doing? The pink silky powder from Essence, it was so good. Here it is. The All About Matte powders, not gonna lie, they are good from Essence. I think the normal ones do still exist, but the pink one doesn't, which I don't understand. Barry M color changing lipstick in Neptune. So it's a blue lipstick, as you can see, and I just looked it up and it just turned into this nice pinky color. It was just like before the pH changing thing got their spot in like any brand on the market, there was this. And personally, I'm just not a fan of stuff like this, but the swatches that I saw, not gonna lie, it looked really pretty. Urban Decay Lo-Fi Lip Mousse and Thunderbird Single Eyeshadow. So here we have the Lo-Fi Lip Mousses. Honestly, never heard about these. When were these a thing? Where was I at that time? Never heard about that. Same Thunderbird eyeshadow, here it is. It looks like a beautiful rusty color. Maybe even like something that I'm wearing on my lips today. It looks really pretty. Just in general, Urban Decay, they had a vibe back then. And although I do like their newer products, for example, the Moondust eyeshadow were good back then and are a banger these days too. I last month uploaded a video with a reel, like a shorts video of that Urban Decay Moondust, the Star Shape palette, and it's a freaking good palette. Even the mattes in there, they are so much better than the quality that you find in the Naked re-release palette. It's insane. They are just better. There's just something different. So honestly, Urban Decay, bring back your old vibe. Bring back the old creativity that you were born of in the 90s, but give us that good quality that you can deliver, definitely. And there's the siren once again. Too Faced Natural Ice Palette and Matte Ice Palette, the cardboard version. So we have the Natural Ice Palette here. I'm not sure if you meant that, but that was the one that I was able to find, and I remember this. Or in general, these palettes from Too Faced where you had like these rows and then there was a big shadow where Too Faced just assumed that you will use that the most, and then these just cohesive neutral lines. And then we have here that Natural Ice palette. I'm pretty sure you meant this because honestly, this was a palette that even I wanted to have, but I never got it because also Too Faced was not the easiest to get back then. Another discontinued MAC product. MAC These Lips Are Expensive is my favorite lipstick of all time. Here I found a nice picture with a good swatch and looks very pretty. Honestly, a bit too peachy pink for my liking, so I personally wouldn't wear it. But I honestly understand why this is such a fan favorite. And if I saw that correct, it was a luster glass lipstick, and these are just such a good formulation. Last but not least, we have a more modern one. This is all of Girl Called Strange Tales palette. This is one of the palette that is in there. It is quite hard to gather all the palettes because the what is now the word? Oh my god, I forgot what the word is in English. The translation from Chinese to English is different on some websites. So, but I found this one that was definitely part of it. And I remember when I this year first got into this and I got into Girl Code Cosmetics, this was something that was still available back then on Look Healthy store. I'm pretty sure it is not now, but I was very close on buying this, but I was just like, yeah, this combo I would never really wear. But just Girl Code has such amazing like lines of makeup, such amazing collections with super well thought out little quads that just work as they are. And as we talked about all the MAC products, I just remembered one thing, that it is still available these days, but the MAC Blue Brown Pigment, oh my god. I remember that in 2013, that was the time when I was for a short time working in London. First day that I had the time, I went to London City to Harrods, went straight to the MAC counter on the bottom floor there, and I bought the Blue Brown Pigment together with the MAC Club single eyeshadows. And I just remember that all these oil spilly shades, you know, the brown base with the green and the bluish shift, they were so popular back then. And I think the popularity of these in these years where I just started to develop my real makeup taste, that is the reason why I still these days love these oil spilly shades. And honestly, I'm so close. I'm so close on buying this because right now you get 35% off, but at the same time, I do have like corporate discounts from my company right now, and the discount that I get through that corporate website is much higher. So I probably I filmed this basically on the Black Friday weekend, the Black Sales weekend. And I can't promise you that by the time you see the video, I might have bought the Blue Brown Pigment because it's just so pretty and it's just so OG. It just tickles something, some like nostalgic in me. I know that I wouldn't like to use this because it's a loose pigment. And even back then, I didn't like to use it. But it is just so fucking pretty. Please let me know down below what is for your for your taste, for your makeup nostalgia feeling. What is the one product that got away, the one that you miss still, the one that you are still mad about yourself that you didn't get this? Let me know down below. Let's just share all the nostalgic memory, because every now and then it is just really calming to just go a little bit back in time and think maybe about times where life just hit different. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out the rest of Ellamas. And if you're bored and you want to catch up or whatever, there is the Ellamas playlist link down below. Thank you so much, and I hope I can see you tomorrow.